Okay, so today we will be discussing about the data masking or column level security. So we can call it as a data masking or we can call it as a column level security also. So data masking is nothing but if you have any data, any sensitive information stored in your database, and as per the regulation, you have to mask those data. So you cannot show this data, you cannot display this data to everyone in the organization or anybody outside of the organization. So that's the reason generally you need to mask those data. Now, in Snowflake, data masking supported. Dynamic data masking in the sense, for an example, at the same time, let's say in your organization you have three different role or maybe three different designation people are there. Maybe there is a manager, there is a branch manager, there is a senior manager. This type of there is a customer support people and all. So, for an example, I want only whoever is the admin or whoever is the senior manager kind of peoples are there, or let's say designation people, VP designation people are there. They will be able to see the original data. Along apart from that, everyone will be able to see the mask data. So at the same time, this type of situation implementation is possible in Snowflake. Okay, let's say for an example, you are working with a bank. Now even the bank, let's say only the branch manager can be able to see the original data.
No, Bruno. Sorry, Amit.
So apart from that, if you have, let's say you have the branch manager, and that branch manager will be able to see the original data. Apart from branch manager, everyone will be able to see the mask data. So this type of situation implementation is possible in Snowflake, and that is the reason we call it as a dynamic data masking. Okay, so data masking, there is nothing to say in this in the theoretical part, because it's nothing but to mask your data. Like you have to, as per your logic, whatever the logic you want to implement, that you can implement while creating the masking policy. So we will do that. Before that, we will do the setup, and after that, we will do the data masking activity. So first thing, we'll do the setup. So what is the setup we need to do? I will be creating three different role here. Okay, one is analyst. Sorry, one is analyst. One is analyst real. One is developer. I am creating this three role. Why I am creating this three role? For testing purpose. I will be testing your data masking activity. Whatever data masking activity I will do today, that I will test through this three role, and that's the reason this three role I am gonna create it. Okay. So for an example, let's say I'm creating this three role: analyst, analyst real, and developer. Let's execute. The three role got created. Now this I'm creating one user called test underscore masking. I'm creating one user called test underscore masking. Okay, and password is this one. Okay. Now, by using this user, what I will do, I will test the data masking policy. Whatever I will implement, that I will test by using this user. This user I am just creating for the testing purpose, and that's the reason you can see this analyst, real, developer, these three role I'm assigning to this user. So let's create it. So you can see it is got created, and this role basically first I created the user test underscore masking. Then I assign this role, and this role to the test masking user. So now if I log into this user, I will be able to see this three role assigned to that particular account. So let me go to the account section. Let me copy my URL of this account, because I know that whenever we create any user inside the account, those users will be logged in with the same URL which I have logged in, or the same URL of my account they will also use to log in. So that is what I'm doing here. So you can see the test underscore masking role, basically test underscore masking user has been logged into his account. And here you have these three role assigned. One is analyst real, one is developer. These three role assigned here. Now, if you select this analyst role, these two databases are there. If you select analyst real, these two databases is there. If you select developer, these two databases are there, right? Fine. So now what I did, I created three different role. I created one user test underscore masking. This user will be used to test your masking data. And that's the reason I created this one. Okay, fine. After that, once this is done, then I need to create, let's say for an example, I'm creating one database called demo underscore db. I'm creating one database called demo underscore db. So let's create it. Once the database is created, I'm basically providing this database privilege and schema privilege. Okay, I created the database, I created the schema. So DemoDB database is there, public schema is there. Inside that, I will be creating one table called employee underscore info. So these are all setup I am doing. So let me first do the setup, then we will see the actual example. So I'm creating one employee info table. Okay, and after that, what I will do, I will provide this database access, schema access. So like this, I will provide the database. So as of now, if you see here, as a developer, as an analyst, you don't have this any databases available. So I created the DemoDB database, and that DemoDB database I want to provide these roles as well. That's the reason what I'm doing. I'm providing this, you can see grant usage on database DemoDB to role, these three role. I'm providing the DemoDB database access. Then I want to provide the schema access. I'm providing the public schema access also to this three role. Okay. Then I want to provide the virtual warehouse access. So let's say I'm providing W3 access, W3 access to all of them. So I have written here grant usage on the warehouse W3 to these roles. So warehouse access also I provided. And along with that, I will be providing the table access also. So where is the table? So this is the table access. Grant select on the table name to role name. So let's provide this select access on the table as well. Okay, so now you can see here, if I refresh, so I will be getting that DemoDB database. I will be getting that public schema. I will be getting that tables as well. Okay. And here we have the virtual warehouses as well. Now, if you write here, select, so for an example, let's say I'm writing here, select star from, let's say this is the employee table. If I check that table here and if I execute, you can see no data available here. Okay, no data available here. Okay, so this is the reason I created this three role: analyst real, developer. Why I created analyst role? Because by using analyst role, I will be able to fetch the database schema and table, and I will be able to test that whether the data is masked or not. As of now, no data is there. I'm not able to see anything. So that's the reason we created this analyst role, analyst real role, developer role, because I want to test the database, the table data by using this three role. So what I did till now, I created this three role. I created one user, that is what we call test underscore masking. Then I logged into that user test underscore masking. I assigned this three role to the test underscore masking user, so that by using this test underscore masking user, you are able to see this three role. After that, I created this DemoDB database. I created the public schema. I created this table, and I assigned this DemoDB database access, public schema access, and employee info table access to this three role. So by using this three role, you are able to see these databases available. Okay, and also we provided this virtual warehouse access. So till now, this is the step I done. Next, what I will do, I will go up and I will create another role. Why I am creating another role? I can skip this step, but because see, whenever you will be working with data masking activity, you need to perform two type of step. Listen properly. Whenever we will be working with data masking activity, we need to perform two type of step. One is creation of the masking policy, and second one is applying the masking policy. So first you have to create the masking policy, then you have to apply that masking policy to the appropriate column. Okay, so on which column you will be applying that masking policy, that you have to do. But this creation of the masking policy, applying of the masking policy, these privileges automatically we have with the account admin and security admin. Okay, so by using account admin, if you are doing this stuff, you don't need to provide any specific privilege to that account admin role, because account admin, by if you are doing with the account admin, then no need to create any separate role or something. But here I will not do with the account admin. Why? Because otherwise I won't be able to show you this stuff. So because account admin already having these privileges, so no need to give any extra privileges. By using account admin, anytime you can create the masking policy, you can apply the masking policy. But I will not do this stuff with the account admin. So today's activity we will do with the separate role called masking admin. So I'm creating a separate role called masking admin. All the masking related stuff I will do with this role. So let's create the masking admin role. And as I told you, if any role, not only masking admin, it is not needed that you need to create a separate role. You can provide this privilege to sysadmin, user admin also. Like let's say these two privilege has to be provided. First privilege is create masking policy on the schema level, and then apply masking policy on the account level to the masking admin role. If any role doesn't have this privilege, then if you try to create the masking policy by using that role, you won't be able to do that. It will be showing insufficient privileges. So if what you have to do, by any role, if you want to work with the data masking and you want to create the masking policy, you have to provide this privilege. Account admin already is having this privilege. That's the reason we don't need to provide any privilege to account admin. But other role, by using other role, if you want to do activity like masking related activity, you have to provide this two privilege. One is grant create masking policy, another one is grant apply masking policy. Okay, so let's provide these two privilege to the masking admin role. Done. Now after that, I'm assigning this masking admin role to my user ID only. Okay, so let me do that. So if I provide this access to the my user ID, so what will happen? You will be able to see that role. Let me, okay. So I will not refresh this account, otherwise it will be taking another account's details. So let's say I'm writing here show roles. You will be able to see that masking admin role available here. You can see this is the masking admin role, and it has been assigned to the basically, let me, so this is the masking admin role which has been created by the account admin. So generally this masking admin role has been assigned to your user ID as well, and that's the reason it is showing here. Okay, so this masking admin role has been assigned to the user Snowflake ADM. Snowflake ADM is nothing but the user ID which I use to log in for this account. Okay, so if you see here, this is my basically what I can say. If you go to the profile, you will be able to see that here it is not showing because I don't want to refresh this account. Otherwise, this account will take this account details. So that's the reason. So anyway, so again, I need to log in both of the accounts. So that's the reason what I'm doing. So basically, this masking admin will be assigned to this Snowflake ADM. Snowflake ADM is nothing but the user ID which I use to log in with this account. That's the reason this basically this masking I allocated this masking admin role to this Snowflake admin user. Okay. After that, what you can do, you can anytime you can change this role. So before that, I will do another thing. I need to do that. What is that? So first I will assign. So this is the two thing I need to provide, because if I write here, let's say I'm writing use role masking admin. So use role masking admin means here the masking admin will be selected, and once it is selected, you can see that DemoDB database, public schema, employee info table, those are not available here. So that's the reason I have to provide that access. So again, I'm going to use role account admin. So it will be change the role here, and I'm providing the DemoDB database access to the masking admin role and public schema access to the masking admin role. And along with that, we are providing the insert, update, delete on the table employee info to the masking admin. Let's provide. And along with that, we will be providing the virtual warehouse access as well. So let's say virtual warehouse access also we are providing to the masking admin role. Now all are done. Now what I will do, I will go and I will change my role to the masking admin. Let's use role masking admin. Now as a masking admin, if you refresh here, you will be able to see the DemoDB database, public schema. This is the table, employee info table. So here also by using this, you can see employee info table. Here also you are able to see the employee info table, but right now employee info table doesn't have any data. So by using the admin role, I will be inserting the data here. So let me do that. So your record got inserted. Now, if you check the data from the employee info table, you are able to see the data. Okay, fine. So till now, whatever I did the entirely setup related activity. So what are all the setup I did? First, I created 3 role. One is analyst, one is analyst real, one is developer. And I created one user called test underscore masking. These 3 role assigned to that user test underscore masking. And this is the user account, test underscore masking account it is. And here I can see these 3 role. After that, I created the database DemoDB public and DemoDB database public schema and this table. And after that, these privileges I provided to all of these 3 role. And that is the reason by using these 3 role, I'm able to see these objects here. That is first step we do. Second step, what I did, I created the masking admin role. And I provided the create masking policy and apply masking policy to this masking admin role like this way. After that, I assign this masking admin role to my user ID so that I can be able to change the role from here and work with the data masking activity. After that, again, the same database, DemoDB database access, public schema access, and table access, I provided to the masking admin role. Warehouse access also we provided. After that, by using masking admin, I inserted the data into the table, and now we will be doing the all the data masking related main activity. So as I told you, masking data, data masking can be possible in 2 different way or 2 different step. Not way I will say, it is 2 different step. First step is basically, what is first step? First step is creating the masking policy. And what is second step? Second step is nothing but applying the masking policy. Okay. First, we need to create the masking policy. Then we need to apply the masking policy. That is what I am doing here. So first I am creating the masking policy. Then we will be applying the masking policy. For an example, let's say I am creating one masking policy. Create or replace masking policy. Masking policy name. So here the name is sensitive info masking numbers. You can give any name here. It is not necessarily that you have to give this name only. You can give any name here. After that, as val number. Val is the input parameter which we are taking, which we are accepting through the masking policy, and returns number. Here always remember the input parameter and output data type. Input data type and output data type should be always same. Snowflake does not support different data type in Snowflake. Like basically, whatever data type you have taken as an input, the same data type you have taken as an output. Okay. And because this masking policy we are creating on the data type number, so that means this masking policy can be applied on the columns which data type is the number data type. Okay, so create or replace masking policy. This is the masking policy name as VAL as a number. VAL is the original data. Remember one thing, data masking policy will be mask your data. It is just a policy. It will not change your original data. Your original data will be as it is. Now, if you check your data here with the analyst real, you can see all our original data. So original data has stored in your database. Okay. Original data has stored in your database. Now, whenever you will be applying the masking policy on top of those data will be masked. That means the data, the user who will be seeing the data, based on the privilege of that user, the data will be shown to that person. For an example, let's say analyst people are having the privilege to see the original data, they will be able to see the original data. If the analyst people doesn't have the privilege to see the original data, they will not be able to see the original data. But that doesn't mean that in the main database, we stored the masked data. No. In the database, we stored the original data only, while the data shown to the user or while the data is displaying to the user, according to that user's privilege, or rather we can say like when we are displaying the data to any role, so based on the privilege of that role, whatever privilege they have, the data will be shown. If they have to have the privilege to see the original data, they will be able to see the original data. If they don't have the privilege to see the original data, then the original data will not change. Then just one masking wrapper will be applied on those data and they will be able to see the wrapped data. That's it. So original data as it is will be there in the account. So that's the reason. So basically, whenever you are wrapping the data or whenever you are masking the data, basically you have to send the original data to the policy and the policy will give you the masked data as a returned. So that is the reason here val is the input parameter and val is nothing but the original data, which will be returning the masked data. So here I am rewriting a logic like case when current role is nothing but this role. Whatever role you have selected here, when the current role is in analyst real and account admin, if the current role is in analyst real and account admin, then it will be showing you the original data. Val is the original data, so it will be showing you the original data. Apart from that, everyone will be able to see this 9999 formatted data. That is what the masking policy we are creating. So let's execute. Now you can see the data masking policy has been created. As I told you, the masking policy is based on two steps. One is creation of the masking policy. Second one is applying of the masking policy. Now I created the masking policy, but you can see as a developer, I'm still able to see the original data. Okay. As per the logic, what is there? Logic is analyst real people will be able to see the original data. See the original data. Apart from everyone will be able to see the 9999 data. But as of now, as a developer, I'm able to see the original data only. As a analyst, I'm able to see the original data only, but I am not supposed to be shown. Why I am able to see? Because I created the masking policy definitely, but I did not apply the masking policy. So now I need to apply the masking policy. While creating the masking policy, we never mention that on which table, on which column this policy will be applied. While creation of the masking policy, we never mention, or we don't have the privilege to mention that on which column, which table you want to apply this masking policy. But while applying the masking policy, this is what the main stuff. So you can see alter table if exist employee info, alter table if exists, employee info, modify column salary, set masking policy, sensitive info, masking numbers. So this is the step we mentioned here. So here only we are mentioning the column or the table on which you want to apply this masking policy. So you can see alter table if exists, employee info, modify column salary, set masking policy name. You can see you are applying the masking policy on top of this table, this column. Let's execute. Once you executed this step, after that your masking policy got applied on the salary column. Now if you check your data by using analyst role, you will be able to see the original, you will be able to see the mask data. If you check the data with the developer role, you will be able to see the mask data. If you are checking the data with the analyst real role, you will be able to see the original data. You can see. At the same time, analyst real people are showing you the original data. At the same time, the analyst people are able to see the mask data. This is what we call dynamic data masking. So basically, one masking policy can be applied to multiple column, multiple table. There is no upper limit. So you can apply this masking policy to n number of columns, n number of tables. So for an example, let's say if the same logic you want to apply to some other column also, you can just write the another alter statement, and there you mention the table name, mention the column name, and apply this masking policy. So same way that column also will be behaving. Okay, this is one thing. Second thing, I will be creating another data masking policy. Let's say here I am creating another data masking policy. Create or replace masking policy, sensitive info masking strings. So this masking policy will be applied on the string column. So input parameter is string, output parameter is string. Then case when current role is in developer, that means when current role is in developer, they will be able to see the original data. Apart from everyone will be able to see the mask data. And what we are masking here, we will be applying this masking policy on the PAN number column. And here we will be hiding the numeric values. So that is what we are doing. We are whatever value we are using the substr replace function, and just we are hiding the star with the star, the numeric value with the star. So that is what we are doing. When the current role is in developer, they will be able to see the original data. Apart from the developer, everyone will be able to see the mask data. So let's execute. Once the data masking policy has been created, after that simply we need to come down, and here we have to apply that masking policy. Once I applied the masking policy, this PAN number will be, right now it is coming as an original data. It will be applying those policies. So let's execute. Once I executed, now you can see here, if I refresh, sorry, if I re-execute, you can see now this is the data. This is the data which is mask data. At the same time, if you check with the analyst real, you will be able to see the mask data. But at the same time, if you check with the developer, you will be able to see the original data. So that is what the data masking policy. Okay. Now for an example, let's say if you want to see about the data masking policies, you can write here describe masking policy, sensitive info masking strings, or sensitive info masking numbers. So you have to write the describe statement like DESC masking policy, then masking policy name. If you execute this thing, you will be able to see the name of the masking policy, what is the signature, what is the return type, what is the body. Body means main business logic, whatever you have written. So that you will be able to see that. Okay. Now let's say the masking policy number, this sensitive info masking numbers, this policy is applied on the salary column. Now at this position, let's say I want to execute create or replace statement on the masking policy. Let's say so any object, like let's say table, view, whatever object, if you have the same name object available in your database, what you can do, you can write there create or replace option. So create or replace option, what it will do, this create or replace option will actually what actually it will do, it will replace the existing object. For an example, let's say you have created one table called T1. Now again, if you write create or replace T1, then the existing table will be replaced by the new table. But here that is not the actual case. Here, if you write the create or replace masking policy, then you can get an error. Why? You can see it is saying policy sensitive info masking numbers cannot be dropped or replaced as it is associated with one or more entities. What does it mean? It means because this masking policy is already associated with the salary column, this masking policy already associated with the salary column, and until and unless this any masking policy which is associated with any columns in your database, then that masking policy cannot be replaced and also it cannot be dropped. So if you try to drop, you will be getting the same error. So if you have any child, that means this is what we call child, right? This is a policy which is already applied to one of the column, one or multiple. Let's say if you applied this masking policy to 10 number of columns, then first you have to unset all the masking policy from all the columns. That means first you have to remove this masking policy from all of these columns. Then you can replace it or then you can drop it. That you have to remember. So if any masking policy is having associated with any of that column, then you cannot replace it or you cannot drop it. So first you have to unset the masking policy. To unset it, we will execute this statement. Alter table if exists employee info, modify column salary, unset masking policy. While applying the masking policy, we write set statement. While basically remove the masking policy from the column, we write unset statement. So let's execute. Whenever we are writing the unset masking policy, so what it will do, it will, now you can see the salary column, you are able to see 9999. Now if I execute the same query again, now you will be able to see the original data. Why? Because now the masking policy has been removed from the salary column. So you will be able to see the original data with all of the rows. Okay, because there is no masking policy has been applied on the salary column right now, because we already has removed the masking policy from the salary column. That's the reason you will be able to see the all the original data. Now once it is masking policy has been removed, then you can go for the create or replace option. It will be executable. You can see it is possible to execute, and along with that, if you want to drop the masking policy, you can drop it also. You can see masking policy got dropped. But until and unless this any masking policy is associated with any one column of the database, you cannot drop it. Okay. Next is, let's say I created one view. Okay, that I'll show you later. Before that, let's say as of now, by using analyst real, you are able to see the PAN number is the masked. By using analyst, I am able to see the PAN number is masked, and by using developer, I am able to see the PAN number is original. So my current logic is developer people will be able to see the original data and other people will be able to see the masked data. like analyst real, they will be able to see the mask data. That is what my current logic. So you can see by developer, you are able to see the original data, but by analyst, you will be able to see the mask data. I'm showing you. But let's say I want to change the logic. I want by using analyst, I will be able to see the original data. And by using developer, I want to see the mask data. So to change the logic, just you have to execute one alter statement. So alter masking policy, sensitive info masking string, set body hyphen, then you have to write your logic. Case when current role in analyst, then original data. So current role is analyst, I am able to see the mask data. So I'm just changing the logic. When current role is in analyst, then original data. Apart from everyone analyst, everyone will be able to see the mask data. Whenever I will apply this alter statement, or whenever I will execute this alter statement, what will happen? Whatever the columns is applied with this masking policy, all will be changed with the current logic automatically. Okay. So what I want to mean is, let's say this masking policy has been applied on 5 columns. Then all the 5 columns existing logic will change with this logic. Okay, you don't need to separately apply. So let's execute the alter statement. Once the alter statement has been executed, wherever this masking policy is associated, all will be acting like a new logic. Now you can see, as the analyst, I was able to see the mask data. Now if I execute, I will be able to see the original data. So the logic got changed. And as a developer, I was able to see the original data. Now as a developer, I will be able to see the mask data. So the logic got changed. Okay. Now let's say I am creating one view on the table. Okay, just normal view I am creating. I am creating a view on the table. So let's create it. Okay, so masking admin doesn't have the privilege to view creation. So I'm just changing my role to account admin and just creating the view on the table employee info. Let's create it. Once the view got created, after that we are assigning that view on the we are assigning the view to this 3 role: analyst, analyst real, and developer. So let's provide this 3 role access to this. Sorry, provide this view access to this 3 role. Once it is provided, I can go to this account, and if I refresh, you can see that view is available. Okay. Now let's say I will write here select star from this view. I did not apply any logic on the view. I did not apply any masking policy on the view level. What I did, I applied the masking policy on the table, and this view is created from the table itself. Now I will, if I check the data from the table with the developer role, let me execute. I'm able to see the mask data. At the same time, if I check the data from the view, I will be able to see the mask data. So because the view internally, the view is actually fetching the data from the table itself, and that's the reason basically they will be fetching exactly based on your privilege. If the developer people is having the privilege, if the developer people is having the privilege to see the if the developer people is having the privilege to see the mask data, then by using view also you will be able to see the mask data only. For an example, analyst people is able to see the original data from the table. Let me change the role to analyst. And if you check the data from the table, you are able to see the original data. So analyst people are basically eligible to see the original data. Now by using view also, if you fetch the data, you will be able to fetch the original data only. So because the view internally fetching the same table data, and that's the reason based on your privilege only, you will be able to see the data here. Okay. So if you have the privilege to see the original data, you will be able to see. If you don't have the privilege to see the original data, by using view also, you won't be able to see that. Okay. Now, for an example, let's say you have a function called policy underscore references, and this function will do nothing is like basically if you pass the policy name here, then it will show you that on which column, which table this policy has been applied. Okay, it will be showing you on which column, on which table the policy has been applied. Okay, so for an example, let's say if I execute right now this statement, then it will be showing you only one table. You can see only one table, employee info, and column name is PAN column, where this policy has been applied. Okay. Right now, what I am doing, I am creating a clone of the employee table. So, and the clone table name is employee underscore clone. So we already have seen clone classes. Now clone is nothing but the features of creating the snapshot of the database table schema and other objects. Like it's a kind of creation of the copy without incurring any additional cost. And as well as I told you, the zero copy clone is having a features because it is inheriting the metadata of the source table. That's the reason any policy, if I apply on the source table, that will be automatically inherited by the clone table also. This will not happen if you create a normal backup like create table name as select star from table name. If you create the backup table by this way, so this situation will not work. But if you create the clone, this situation will work. So let me create a clone of the table employee underscore info. So you can see, let's create it. Once I created, now after that you can see here, if you check this policy references function again, now you can see right now you will be able to see here two table. I did not applied any masking policy on the employee clone table, but it is automatically applied. Why? Because this employee clone table is the clone of this employee table. That's the reason this is automatically applied here. Okay. Now, if I provide this table privilege to all of these three role, and let's say if I provide this privilege to all of these three role, and if you come here and let's say refresh, so this table is available. Now, if you execute here, like select star from, let's say I'm taking this table here and let's execute. You can see because the analyst people are having the privilege to see the original data from the clone also, you are able to see the original data. If you change your role to developer, because from the main table you are able to see the mask data, from the clone table also you will be able to see the mask data. That is the privileges that providing by the clone features. But instead of creation of the clone, if you create the normal table, like let's say backup table, let's say I'm create table t1, let's say as select star from employee underscore info. So if I create the table like this way, so that will not be applied. You can see if you come here, it is not applied with that table. T1 table has been created with the data copy, not the data, not the metadata related activity. And that's the reason that T1 table details, T1 table will not be automatically applied this masking policy. But if you create any table with the clone features, so whatever policies on the main table has been applied, that will be automatically applied on the clone table also. That's the reason it will be behaving exactly same with the main table. So this is how your data masking policy works. Clear? Any doubt, any question? All good? Okay. Fine. So you can practice with the script I'll share, and if any doubt, you can let me know. Okay. Thank you, guys.
The meeting has ended. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.